Hey guys, it's our last video. OMGesus. I'm so excited. Not that this hasn't been fun. Not that I won't miss you. I think it's time for a break. It's not you, it's me. So, my bad. Okay, so let's start with Thompson and Little's arguments. So, Thompson uses the violinist argument basically. You wake up, you're hooked to like a famous, excuse me, my allergies, violinist, but you didn't agree to it. He has to stay with you for 9 months hooked to you because he needs to live. That's the only way he's going to live. Okay, you are under no obligation at all to that. You did not agree to that. You have no obligation to keep him or her, however you want to look at it, alive. Just like in cases of rape, you are under no obligation to that fetus because you didn't agree to having sex. You didn't agree to the consequences. You were forced. So you have no, you can basically get an abortion and that's fine because you didn't agree to that. And then Little's argument is Little goes into how pregnancy affects the mother. So pregnancy is really hard on the body and it makes things, out of shape. It stretches your body, it pushes your body. It's just very, very hard. Also, the mental effects, postpartum, can get really, really bad. Some women have it and some don't, but it can be bad. So, Little's basically you have to look at what it does to the mother and all the possibilities. Which, kudos to Little, because no one ever thinks about the mom. Okay, so moving on to Noonan's argument, abortions are fine in the case of trying to save the mother's life. So, if the pregnancy is going to kill the mother, then that's fine to have an abortion because the mother's life is already fully developed, so that's fine. Basically, you could probably try again with the recommendation of your doctor, and that would be fine. That's fine. But Callahan says that abortion is just inconsistent with motherhood. So you have this maternal thinking when you find out that you're gonna become a mom, and your whole goal is to protect that child. So as far as eating healthy, taking your vitamins, not putting yourself at risk to lose your child as much as you possibly can. And then when you have it, your goal is to take care of it and to protect it because that is your child. That is the human life that you are responsible of. So to have an abortion is just very inconsistent with that thinking. It does not follow, I guess, what it would be like to be a mother. So Callahan's just no, that's not okay. That's not happening. So you can kind of see the contrast in Noonan and Callahan, where Noonan's if the mother needs to get rid of the baby, then that's fine. Callahan's no, under no circumstances would that be fine. So moving on to Hearst House. Hearst House is just in some cases it's morally right. In certain cases it's fine to get an abortion. If the mother's in extremely poor health and she would not be able to take care of the child properly, then that's fine. Then the mother can get an abortion and that would be fine because that kid would have no life, I guess you would say, would have no real good quality of life. And Langrach basically says, late term abortion is infanticide because basically it's already a little person. So when you get after, I think it was 28 weeks or something, that's considered a baby, an infant, or not an infant, infant's when you have it, but you know what I'm saying. Then you're basically killing up a human, and that's not cool. And then Singer and Wells are just ectogenesis can be which can be good for people who are against abortion because then you can always take the baby out after a certain point and put it into the machine and let it like finish developing, and you wouldn't have an issue. So they're like, that's a really good thing. Like, that's awesome. And then, Sander, I don't know how to say her last name, so I'm just going to call her Sander because I'm like awful. It's basically just like, this kind of undermines like the child mother bond. Like, when you have a baby, you hold the baby, you bond with that person, and you work throughout your life and the child's life to create an even deeper bond. So basically, that just kind of undermines everything right there. Like, you kind of just grew it, and there was no bond. And so, but like, also another part of the argument was like, women in prison could be forced to have to do this, not carry to term, but put it in the thing. So she was like, oh, there were goods and there were pros and there were cons. So I personally feel like we should just end like the pro-life, pro-choice debate and just, like be just be pro-choice, and then that gives you the option to be like, okay, if the mother wants to carry to term and can safely, whatever, fine. Like, if she wants that baby, let her have that baby, let her do what she needs to do for her and the child. But if a mother, like, is like, I don't want to have this baby, like, for whatever reason, like, in case of rape or whatever, like, I don't want to have this baby, but I'm also, like, not really wanting to, like, because maybe in their mind it would be murder. I don't really want to have an abortion. Then they can carry to a certain point, have that child taken out, put into that chamber for, like, ectogenesis, and have it finish growing, and then go to adoption. And that gives you, in my mind, more room to be compassionate towards people who have maybe been raped and had to carry a baby because they were so shamed into not getting an abortion. And I think that way people are like, okay, you felt like you couldn't carry, like, because I, like, just, like, if someone's like, I've never been through that, I don't know what it's like. You've carried, okay, you tried to do the morally right thing. So I think that is a better option than just all out just being like, it's either carry or abortion. Like, there's only two choices. Like, give them another choice. And it would definitely, I feel like, cut down on the abortion rate, which everybody seems to be so upset about. Like, then you've given them another choice. There you go. So lastly, I feel like critics might look at my argument and they might be like, okay, why should we give somebody that choice? Like, it's probably expensive to do. Why should we fund this? Like, what do we get out of it? And, whatever. And my thing is, like, if you look at the foster care system and you see how many kids are in foster care waiting to be adopted, 9 times out of 10, the kids that get adopted are the cute little tiny babies. No one really adopts kids that are in middle school, and definitely not those who are in high school and are close to the age of 18, because when they get to be the age of 18, they are thrown out. They are on their own. They are considered an adult. And no one will help them. So, in my mind, like, people who are throwing a fit about, like, people getting abortions, and they're like, oh, well, we would adopt that baby. Well, there's your chance. Right there is your chance.